Okay, so good morning, everyone, also for my part, and thank you for Nina and Ronit to organize the session. This presentation is based on an article which is co-authored by myself and my supervisor, Professor Jutta Jokiranta, and it's also part of my PhD project. And the article will be published as a part of the final publication of the former Center of Excellence Changes in Sacred Texts and Traditions of University of Helsinki. And it's going to be a collection of essays focusing on methodological and theoretical approaches to biblical and ancient Near Eastern studies. Yeah, okay, now it's moving. The Divine Council is a prominent institution in conceptualization of divinity all around the ancient Near East, and for example, it can be found in many Mesopotamian myths like Enuma Elis and Anzu, in Ugaritic mythology, in a number of biblical texts, and also in a number of shorter Levantine inscriptions as shorter references to this term. So basically, Divine Council is an ethic term for a number of emic expressions, and they are not just translations of each other, but like different terms are used in different languages, meaning the same thing. And the Divine Council has been investigated in the previous research quite much, but there hasn't been like really exact definition of what the Divine Council actually is. And I will try to give one definition for this, which would narrow down also the material we have been looking at with Jutta Jokiranta. So it may sound that the Divine Council as an institution would be more at home in theological systems around multitude of gods, and not so much with those with the conceptualization of one God. But is it so? So I will take some elaborations on that question as well. But for this presentation, I aim to offer the definition for the Divine Council by framing it via a literary pattern, and also to answer the question, what made the Divine Council such an enduring and widespread institution in conceptualization of divinity in the ancient Near East? And this is, of course, a cognitive and cultural evolutionary viewpoint I'm using here. But let's begin with the literary pattern, and then I'll offer you the examples. So I would say that this pattern has four parts, and the pattern is not always complete, but references to these parts may be found here and there in ancient Near Eastern texts, and but like there are also these texts where the pattern is pretty much complete. So first of all, the Divine Council usually gathers around the supreme deity, The name of the supreme deity, of course, is related to the context, and also the other members vary. So there might be like different kind of divine beings in the divine council. So whether they are actual gods and goddesses, or angels, or other divine beings, sometimes also humans take part in this council, either as outside spectators or participants themselves as well. In prophetic literature, this is pretty common. But the Divine Council gathers because of a single issue that is raised in the council assembly, and the participants of the assembly, the Divine Council, are discussing what to do about it. So it might be, for example, the classical example would be a chaos monster. For example, in Enuma Elis, it's Tiamat, or then it's a disease, or something that obviously needs to be solved, that somehow threatens the cosmic balance of the world. So usually some kind of a volunteer is asked for in the Divine Council, who would take the task, and then when the volunteer is finally found, the divine agency is delivered. So either someone gets it from the supreme deity, or takes it like without the permission, but then the volunteer usually like goes and does the deed, gets the job done. So this literary pattern might be visible in this. I hope you can also see it, and I try to argue for this pattern and discuss it a little bit more then. So let's begin with this Neo-Assyrian Antu myth. So here a winged monster Antu is threatening the balance of the world by having stolen the tablets of destiny from the supreme god Anu while he was asleep. And Anu then calls the Divine Council together, and this is the scene where the Divine Council is held. And so then Anu opened his mouth to speak, saying to the gods, his sons or children, which god will kill Antu and magnify his name throughout the whole of the inhabited world. So this is obviously the first part of the pattern is the council itself, and then a single issue about Antu monster is then raised, and also a volunteer is called. And so this then continues so that a god after another is asked whether they would take the divine agency and go to face Antu, but all the others refuse the offer. Sorry. But Ninurta, who finally fights a long but victorious battle against Antu. So Ninurta is playing as a divine champion is in this Antu myth. Another example comes from the Ugaritic Kirtu epic, and so in Kirtu, the king, legendary king, the protagonist of the epic is sick, and also the land suffers from sympathetic drought because of his illness. And so the supreme deity El feels for Kirtu and calls the divine council together. And then in this scene, El asks, who among the gods removes illness? Who can dispel a disease? And then none of the gods answers him, and then he keeps asking and asking. Altogether 7 times he asks for this, and then finally, as no volunteer appears, then El ends up taking the divine agency himself, and saying that, well, my children, stay seated on your seats, on your elevated thrones. Ask for me, I will create a remover of illness, a dispeller of disease. So, okay, if no one else is volunteering, then I have to take the responsibility then. And then El goes and creates the healer Satakat, this female healer figure out of clay, and she is then able to remove Kirtu's sickness, and the world is saved again. So I would say that here El actually takes the divine agency and then redelivers it to the creature or the healer he has created. And then let's go to the biblical world, and this is from the Daniel 7, and this is of course a famous scene and quite a prophetic one. And so this presents the Daniel's view. So also here thrones were set up, and the Ancient of Days sat on the throne, and there's also this depiction of Ancient of Days, which pretty much resembles the, for example, Ugaritic El character. And then also justice was established, and the books were opened. And then there's this problematic beast, like messing around, and also a horn speaking arrogant words, and something must be done about it. And Daniel then describes, I looked until the beast was slain, and its body was destroyed and given to a flame of fire. And then it goes on, and this character of a son of man is coming to this scene, and so whatever this character is, it also resembles some characters like divine champions, like Ninurta in Mesopotamia, or Baal in Ugaritic texts. And so, but in this scene, I have to say that it's a little unclear whether the divine agency is delivered to the or the deed is done. The beast is slain because it's impassive, either by the Ancient of Days, or then by the Son of Man. But yeah, I think that the pattern is pretty much visible in here as well. Another example is from Job, and this is probably familiar for all of us. And so these heavenly beings, Bene Elohim, gather around the Lord, and also Satan comes among them, and then Lord asks Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him on the earth, and a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil." Okay, so Job is maybe an issue here. That is he too good or something like that. But we all know what happens to Job as the divine agency to afflict poor Job is given to Satan then. And this is also an example of reconceptualization of this divine council, or who are present in the divine council. So if we compare the texts, the Masoretic text, there is Bene Elohim, like children of gods or gods, and then in the Septuagint text there is Hoi Angelu tu Tiu, so angels of God. So I would call this a reconceptualization of these things. Like so in the Hebrew Bible, like things must be reconceptualized into this new theological system somehow. But this is not the point with all of these Septuagint translations in different books, but this is an example where the reconceptualization has taken place. So now some thoughts about the cultural, evolutionary, and cognitive viewpoint. So about geographical distribution and historical endurance of the divine council. So what has made it so like persistently staying in these all kinds of cultural systems? So first of all, this is pretty simple, but this is of course based on an anthropomorphic representation of divinity. So humans tend to conceptualize divinity via anthropomorphic terms, like divine beings here are acting as humans. They gather together, they discuss, they gossip, they plot against each other, and do this kind of different things. But I would say that this is also based on this literary pattern, especially is based on a cognitive schema of probably an elite group of people making decisions together. So this schema has also made this so somehow culturally attractive, if I use that terminology. But then moreover, I would say that the divine council scene here has created somehow a schema of their own. So this allowed a wide creative freedom or malleability for this literary pattern. So like new divine council scenes have evolved or shown up easily in different kind of cultural contexts, and so there is a pattern for this, but and it's like guidedly variated. And I would say that a person with a creative mind, a scribe or an editor or someone like that, even can like come up with a new divine council scene pretty easily, and even rapid changes to the older like forms can be made like that. So I would say that this great reconceptualizability is part of this endurance of this divine council institution. Then this is based on promiscuous theology and immanent justice reasoning. So there's this kind of proportionality bias. Like humans tend to believe that things happen for a reason, and this it might be considered that it's the divine will, and there's an explanation in this divine council, because the divine council has made the decision, or either like some chaotic monster is still messing around and it needs to be solved, or then like humans must understand that the divine beings just they have been dealing with this thing, but haven't done it yet. But finally at the end, good things happen to the good, and the bad will be punished. So, and also this repeating the scene may have had ritualistic purposes. So of course, like repetition has mnemonic effects. So it's easier to remember and easier to reconceptualize then. And this is also related to the cognitive schema and also to the literary pattern. And maybe this also has had these emotional effects, like anxiety relief. The good eventually wins, like naming the problems, like attributing hardships and adversities to the literary characters, and so the monster, the beast, is acting as a scapegoat where to put all the negative feelings, and so it also eases the pain, the cognitive pain, if one might call it. So I would like to raise the question, if conceptualization of divinity via divine council has had anxiety relieving functions, has it had adaptive significance to the communities embracing it? So is it also affecting to the natural selection alongside the cultural as well? So has a community with the conceptualization of the divine council done better than the ones without this conceptualization? So I would also like to hear your thoughts about this. And this is pretty much everything I had to say about this, and more in the article. I'll let you know if you're interested in that later. So thank you.